Marvel just made it official. Chris Evans is coming back as Captain America. Spider-Man 4 is done shooting, and the Doomsday teaser featuring Thor has already slipped onto the internet like it always does. Year-end season is basically a leak buffet right now, so let's do this properly. Sort the legit info from the trash and figure out what's real. What's up? It's Lord of Leaks. Drop a like to back the channel, and we're starting.
Let's start with the Thor Doomsday teaser that leaked online the exact same way the Cap teaser did. And since Marvel already made the Steve Rogers clip official, the pattern is obvious. Give it roughly a week and the Thor teaser should land in clean quality. Then another week and we're probably getting the Doctor Doom one. We even have the runtime now, 1 minute 9 seconds. And here's the detail that matters. Out of the three, Thor's is the only teaser that got tagged with a PG-13 type warning for fear elements. That usually translates into one thing. The next teaser isn't just vibes, it's going to be the most intense, the most action-heavy, and the most informative. The moment it pops up, I'm tearing it apart frame by frame. Until then, about that second teaser we already discussed, Thor shows up with the shorter cut, dead serious, and basically turns his scene into a vow to Odin. Not about a throne, not about glory, but about surviving the fight and getting back to his daughter. It's officially confirmed that Love is still played by Hemsworth's real daughter, India, the same kid they flashed in the teaser. Another confirmation, Stormbreaker is back in his hands, and the overall look is very Infinity War Thor, the version people actually respect. The suit is the cherry on top because it matches that old leaked costume image that's been floating around forever. If that suit is real, then it's not crazy to assume the rest of that leak was real too. And it also signals the obvious, they're done with Clown Thor. He's returning to a straight-faced, heavyweight image. Are you into that, or do you miss the goofy era? Say it in the comments. And yeah, stick around to the end because I'll give you my full take. Now to the first official Doomsday poster that Marvel dropped exactly 1 year before release. Green color scheme and that stained glass window design in the background that instantly screams Loki's Citadel at the end of time. Reddit, of course, immediately turned it into a meme. They just replaced Kang with Doom and changed blue to green. But honestly, the design reads even more like Doom's castle visuals, so I'm not mad at it. I'm just happy we finally have official material to chew on. Meanwhile, Spider-Man 5 is officially done filming, confirmed by director Daniel. Post-production is next, about 6 months, and the big takeaway is they're acting confident. No talk of delays, no maybe we'll move the date. They sound locked in. The real question is the future. Does Cretton stay for the next Spider-Man? His slate is messy. Naruto is next, and then supposedly Shang-Chi 2 with Simu Liu, which leaves Marvel with two choices. Push Spider-Man 5 for 2028 but hand it to a different director, or wait for Cretton and accept that you're looking at 2029, maybe even 2030. What's the smarter move? Drop your answer. And while we're here, we have a global title crisis because Doomsday is a pun only in English. In Brazil, the film is basically being branded as Avengers Doctor Doom, and the same idea is spreading across CIS translations too. In most languages, it becomes Judgment Day, and the Doom wordplay disappears completely. So Marvel's creative intent might point toward localizing it as Avengers Doctor Doom, but the literal meaning pushes you to keep Doomsday. Pick a side and vote. Alright, back to Spider-Man, because the info dump keeps coming. The word now is that the Oops It Leaked Marvel trailer might not be new at all. It could be months old, basically a discarded early cut, and the real final version is supposed to look very different. And honestly, that tracks. Marvel probably doesn't want another Doomsday repeat where the leaked theater material ends up being identical to what they later publish online. Which means the official Spidey trailer could be the moment they finally stop playing coy and straight up confirm the Sadie Sink mystery. Until then, insiders are painting a clearer picture of the plot, and it sounds like the core of the film revolves around damage control, not as a cleanup crew anymore, but as a rebranded superhero control machine. Less we pick up the rubble, more we decide who gets to exist. That's why the story supposedly leans into tracking illegals, and Sadie's character is said to be one of the main targets. Damage control tries to grab her, and the twist is that the Punisher is the one shielding her, meaning Spider-Man gets dragged into a situation where both sides are dangerous and he's stuck in the middle. Naturally, the Sadie is a mutant theory rockets back to the top, and the romance theory isn't exactly dead either, because the leak claims Spidey saves her from damage control at one point. And come on, in blockbuster language, that usually comes with sparks. Meanwhile, the MJ side of the board may also be moving. Casting chatter suggests they were hunting for a boyfriend for Zendaya's character, specifically a Joe Keery from Stranger Things type. So instead of the usual messy triangle, we might be watching a full-on relationship square unfold.
As for the villain, still foggy, and I'm not even going to pretend we can nail that down yet, because guessing it for the 1000th time is how you end up arguing with yourself in the comments. What we do have, though, is something official. Another character from the Netflix Daredevil corner is confirmed to appear. Everyone online instantly screams Iron Fist or Luke Cage, but my money stays on Claire, the night nurse, Rosario Dawson. She's a clean choice. The character isn't divisive, and Rosario has that big screen friendly presence. She won't fade into the background, and she won't hijack the movie either. Now zoom out to the MCU as a whole. Analysts finally brought stats that actually explain the vibe shift. They measured how long it takes characters to return after being introduced. Early MCU was tight. Debut, then a comeback 2 years later, then another 2 to the third appearance. Phase 2 got even faster. Phase 3 kept it relatively quick, but starting Phase 4, the gaps explode. Characters get introduced and then vanish into the void for years. So when someone like Shang-Chi shows up again in Doomsday 6 years later, a huge chunk of casual viewers will be like, wait, who? If Marvel wants the machine to feel alive again, Feige has to pivot from more names, more projects, back to better follow-through. And the industry tea suggests they might be doing exactly that, because people spotted a Marvel trademark filing dated December 12, 2025 for Wolverine, and the description isn't small. It covers films, series, and related media distribution. Translation? They're warming the engine. And let's be real, Hugh Jackman is not a let's do a small streaming season kind of asset. But after Deadpool 3 proved the appetite is still insane, a Wolverine-focused movie starts to feel less like a rumor and more like the obvious next step, which is pretty much what insiders are claiming, a full-scale project with Jackman front and center. Plot-wise, we're still in educated guessing territory, but the easiest move is almost screaming at Marvel. Do another Deadpool team-up. Last time they sold it as Deadpool and Wolverine, so flip the joke and call the next one Wolverine and Deadpool. It's dumb in the best way, perfectly on brand, and it saves you from building some overcomplicated narrative machine. Just pick up where the last movie left off and send the fan-favorite duo on a fresh run of chaos. The only real headache is the setting, because there's no chance a project like this lands before Secret Wars. Unless, of course, Marvel actually commits to the nuclear option, turning the entire next era into one extended Secret Wars arc. If they do that, you can keep the Fox corner alive without it feeling like a logistics nightmare. The other clean option is a straight Wolverine solo film. Jackman technically has 3 already, but let's not pretend the 2009 one didn't faceplant, so the door is wide open for one more in the modern MCU framework, especially if the plan is to build the X-Men side the way Fox did in the 2000s, through Logan as the gateway drug. For years, we kept hearing Marvel wouldn't recast Wolverine and wouldn't hard reboot Logan, and that the mutant world would grow alongside the mainline MCU. Great, then do exactly that. Now pivot to DC, because the vibes have shifted hard. Half a year ago, Marvel looked like it was taking L after L, while Gunn Superman felt like the okay, this'll save the brand moment, plus the promise of a killer Peacemaker follow-up. Fast forward, Marvel suddenly has Wolverine solo chatter, and the Doomsday hype train is actually moving, while DC is getting the uncomfortable headlines. Supergirl test screening whispers are landing in the mixed zone. Performances get love, but the movie is described as lacking identity, hopping genres, leaning into Guardian-style energy, and not really owning a distinct flavor. That's not a death sentence. Reshoots exist for a reason, and there's time. The bigger issue is the atmosphere. The trailer already got backlash, and it feels like a chunk of the audience is coming in ready to hate watch. With Superman, you can sometimes win people back by being simply solid. With Supergirl, solid might not cut it. You need a hook that punches through. And the complaints don't stop there. Word is Lobo barely appears, and that's disappointing because if you have Momoa, people want the full meal, not a garnish. Brainiac's casting is also giving some fans anxiety. Gunn is famous for stacking his movies with familiar faces from his orbit, but Brainiac allegedly went to Lars Eidinger, probably a great actor, but not exactly a name that sells tickets on its own. And in 2025-2026, comic book box office without loud, obvious hype is brutal. Corn Sweat isn't a global magnet yet, and Nicholas Hoult has never been that opens the movie by himself guy. So you end up in the same trap. If you can't create a must-see event, you have to deliver a straight-up banger, or people would just wait for streaming. Which brings us to the spiciest part, the Netflix WB purchase rumors. Paramount's quiet, but Ted Sarandos and company touring the WB lot like landlords is not exactly subtle. My personal read, the deal happens, and DC projects start hitting streaming faster than the old theatrical window ever allowed. Drop your thoughts in the comments. The audience usually throws out the most interesting theories there. And subscribe. New video tomorrow.